Is Steph Curry a good leader? Is he one of the best leaders in the league? Is he top 5? Does he have what it takes? Or is there a missing piece? Let's talk about it. The criteria for good leadership varies so much. People often move the goalposts depending on who we're talking about. LeBron James knows all about that. But let's just talk about some of these things. One of the things they'll say is, how is he with other players? Do other players want to play with him? Well, as we know, very recently, LeBron came out and said, if there's one guy in the modern era that he'd like to play with, it's Steph Curry. So I think that question is probably answered. And if you look at that most recent All-Star game, just the reaction from some of the other players, the excitement that they had in sharing the court with Steph Curry, they love this guy, they look up to him, they respect him. So for me, that is a box that is ticked easily by Steph Curry. Then there are questions about, how is the guy in practice? Does he show up to practice on time? Is he enthusiastic about practice? We all know that Steph Curry plays the game with a smile. And as you can see, practice is no different. He has a smile on his face. For me, that sets a really good example for the young players coming through, needing to learn about good work ethic, needing to understand that this game is not easy. It won't just hand things to you, that you need to work for them. And then people will ask, well, how is he with other stars on the team? Is he able to make sacrifices to help build a solid core that can last for years? Well, we all know about the Splash Brothers. We all know about the Splash Brothers' friendship with Draymond Green and what his role has been. So I would say that is another box for me that is ticked. It's clear just how much these three like playing with one another. And if Steph wasn't the kind of leader that he is, quiet, unassuming, I just think this core would probably not work despite their best attempts. And then the question becomes, well, does it lead to winning? Does it help the team to actually cross that bridge, cross that finish line and actually get the chip? Well, they did. They got the chip and they got to the finals. I know many people don't give them enough credit for that 73 win season because they didn't get the job done as far as the finals were concerned, but hell, I'll give them credit because they got to the finals. But that's a whole nother story where they give one. I'll get into that story on another day and talk about how it's so unfair that they give some teams credit for getting to the finals, but then for a guy like Steph Curry, when he gets to the finals, he gets criticized. And then people will talk about individual achievements. Does he have that credibility? Is he the kind of guy people can look up to? I mean, with Steph Curry, there are so many individual achievements, it's impossible to say he doesn't have that credibility as an individual, as a player. He has more than earned that kind of respect and has gained that kind of credibility and standing in the game. And then people will say, well, how does he stack up against other players? How does he measure up to the standards set by other guys out there? As you can see in a comparison with Kevin Durant, the guy is pretty close, if not on the same level. There are certain things that Steph Curry can do that Kevin Durant has never been asked to do and will never be able to do. And that's a whole nother debate, but I just wanted to show that. This guy is good even off the court. He's pleasant to deal with off the court. Hell, guys, if you were watching game 1 of the first round of the playoffs against the Nuggets, you would see that he elected to come off the bench, if that's not good leadership, I don't know what good leadership is. And then people will say, well, continuing with the off the court theme, does he have a family life, or is he hoeing around basically? Is he sleeping around? Does he have 10 women that he is dealing with at any one point in time? Not that a single man shouldn't be able to enjoy those pleasures, but let's also be honest, that kind of stability where you have a family, where you have a wife, where you have kids that you go home to, that creates a certain level of dignity as part of this leadership, as part of setting an example. And I think Steph Curry ticks that box for me. And then one of the really big things is, when a star shows up to the team, is he able to make a sacrifice? Clearly we know with the Kevin Durant era that he made sacrifices. At times he deferred to Kevin Durant in those clutch moments. Again, not saying Steph Curry is not clutch, but in some of those moments where we needed a bucket, the team went to Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry didn't sit in a corner and pout. In fact, I am willing to guess that he would have probably been the one sometimes to say, no, let's give the ball to KD, let him make the bucket. Not because Steph was shying away from that responsibility, but because he recognized that Kevin Durant had certain advantages, maybe had a certain instinct for those moments. And for me, that was really huge. Him being able to accept Kevin Durant into the team, considering that they used to go up against each other, that for me says a lot about Steph Curry. In fact, it says a lot about KD as well, about his own leadership, that he was able to go to Golden State knowing that the team is Steph Curry's team and still go and play there. But that's a video for another day, because I have a lot more to say on that, just about that whole dynamic, who gets the credit, who gets the criticism for that Kevin Durant move. People will often say, what is the impact of this guy on the team's younger players? If we've been watching, to answer that question, if we've been watching Jordan Poole and his ascendance, then the answer is clear. It's a very positive impact. Jordan Poole calls Steph Curry big bro. It's Steph Curry's brain that Jordan Poole has been picking over the last 2 years about what it'll be like to be in the playoffs. So for me, it's a very positive impact. Even guys like Jonathan Kuminga, they all benefit from Steph Curry. Hell, they benefit from the gravity he has on the court, so that they're able to cut, to slash, to do all these things that they need to do to get to the basket, get those layups, get those dunks. It's all in part due to Steph. Even that confidence to be able to do those things in part comes from Steph. So all in all, guys, is Steph Curry a good leader? Yes, he is. Is he top 5 in terms of leadership? Yes, he is. Some would even put him in the top 3. Others would say he's the best. I don't know. There's a lot of competition, but I would say he's firmly in the top 5 in terms of leadership in the NBA.